Hello,
Harriet,
darlings.
you're
Yes.
looking very smart, darling.
Well, you might think I'm cabin crew from the 1970s, but in fact, I'm not. Yes, thank you. I'm not. I'm somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and I can't tell you anything about it, but it is the 1970s, and I am a secretary.
Oh.
I know, dear.
I like it. It's a good look, Harriet.
It is.
I know, but I haven't got my cup of tea, dear. That's rather irritating.
No. That's irritating.
It wasn't in my rider. I asked for a sushi chef. I asked for everything. Nothing's here.
I know.
Nothing.
But hey ho.
Nothing. But you know,
Filming.
I like it. I like that look.
Yes,
I
Thank
do.
you, dear.
Suits
Yeah.
you.
well, I just saying that I'm bitter. I'm bitter.
That's not
We
a
all
surprise
are
there, dear.
secretly.
Yeah, of course.
So what's happening? Lee?
Right. So we have the most wonderful guest flying back into the nest, the fierce, the fabulous, the legendary Suzi Quatro.
Hey. Hi, Suzi.
Yeah. I love that.
Wow. Suzi.
Oh,
Amazing.
Suzi.
That's so exciting to have seen that. Thank you so
I
much.
know. We just love it. We just love it. Did you enjoy doing it, darling?
I was in the Twilight Zone, and I was mid-creation.
Did you enjoy making that video? It was so stunning.
Yes, we did it in the garage, obviously, for the COVID rules. And each one had to go in by themselves. So that's the only way you could do it. You can't all be in the same room. But yeah, it was a young director with, and when you're young, you have something to prove. So I think he OD'd on me. I think he went away and did his research.
Yeah.
He
He
really
captured you. He did.
Yeah.
He captured the essence of you.
Yes,
Really
yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You look fierce, darling, and fabulous.
It's the devil.
It's
That's
the
right,
devil
it's
in
the devil
you.
in you.
I've always said that. You know, my mother, that song is all about what my mom used to say to me.
Wow.
Really?
Oh yeah, all the time when I was growing up, she always said to me, "You're the sweetest and shyest of all my kids, but you're also the one with the mischief in your eyes." And I do have that. You can see that.
Yeah.
You do.
He was the one that used to say, "Susan, you're an angel till your halo slips and it becomes a noose." She always told me that. So that song is about my mother's words to me.
It's also strange to hear the word Susan, because I don't think of you as Susan at all.
Susan, yes.
She would call me Susan. Okay, she called me Susan only at certain times. I named you correctly. You're really a Suzi. Really a Suzi. And when we were home from my first gig back in Detroit, after I had hits, brought the English band, took my parents in a limousine. I was so proud. Played a gig in Detroit, supported by Blue Oyster Cult and Kiss. We were the headliner. Riding home, I'm so proud that I could do that. And I said to my mom, "How did you like the show?" And she went, "Well, Susan."
Uh-oh.
And I liked it very much, but did you have to stand with your legs so far apart? There's only one way to stand when you're playing rock and roll, and it just happens. You don't think about it. You just do it. You know, nobody says stand this way and play this way. It just, the music does that to you. When I watch back myself, clips of me, I go, wow, like, who's that? Because it just does move you.
Yeah, of course.
And I go so into it that you're just bouncing all over the place, doing whatever that music is doing to you. That's the beauty of music. It moves you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It takes you to another place, doesn't it? And when you go back to listen to things that inspired you when you were younger, you know, did you know that they did an experiment on television? Did you hear about this? About 4 or 5 years ago, where they brought celebrities and they put them into a house, of course. But these guys were in their sort of late 70s and they were finding it really hard. Some of them had, you know, back issues and leg issues. I didn't even think Lionel Blair was there and couldn't put their socks on. And they only played music from their younger, like from the 50s. And they only gave them TV shows, and they brought them back, and every single one of them, without fail, was fitter when they left that house. They all changed. Their whole
Amazing.
mindset changed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a lesson to learn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Healing.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys, but I am I'm a mood person.
Mm.
All the Geminis there will know this. When I settle
Yeah.
down for a movie for the evening, I pick the mood. If I need to cry, I pick a sad movie. If I want to laugh, I
Yes,
I just do. I do it unconsciously. Whatever
I
mood
do.
and in the front room. But when my marriages break out, my first marriage, I used to go in there by myself and play Nat King. Oh, I can tear up now thinking about it. Nat King Cole, When I Fall in Love.
Oh, don't.
Oh, darling.
I would put it on purposely to when they go, you know, because you know you just
No.
you need. Yeah,
I think that is weird. I think that all the time. It's the weirdest thing, isn't it? It's kind of to get something out of you, isn't it, though? It's to get rid of something. And music can do that one way or the other, I always think.
always have to get rid. This is one of my mantras that I've lived by my whole life. Do not hold those tears or that pain or that
Yeah.
anger. Do not.
Absolutely.
It's poison.
You're right.
Yeah.
You know how many times we've all done it. You have a little problem, put it inside. You don't do anything about it, and it becomes like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then
absolutely.
Yeah.
you lay it on the table, and you think, how dumb is that?
Yeah. And then you get angrier and angrier.
True.
Yeah, I tell you what, Susie, my go-to is Chuck Berry's "You Never Can Tell," and that song, you just go ugh, and it just lifts you, because I love Chuck Berry anyway. But "You Never Can Tell" is my go-to
Just saw your
when I need a lift.
I saw your closet rock and roller come out just then.
Yeah.
Well, mine is actually, and it's strange that the first few bars of "From Me to You" brings me. I just get really like, and all of a sudden, my childhood, everything, I feel everything about me starts to feel young and excited. Because it was so exciting.
Yeah, it's so funny, you know. Sometimes a lot of journalists ask me, "Oh, don't you get tired of playing your hits?" Which you reminded me of, and I think because some artists say it, and I think, what's the matter with you? That feeling when I go, "Hey, y'all want to come down?" and they go, "Oh, how can I get tired of that?" I don't care how many. Just like you can listen to the same song, those fans, whoever they are out there, they go through all that when you play. How can the artists say they get tired of playing their hits? They must be nuts. I never get
Good.
tired.
Good, because you're as we all are, we're all pros, and so we love it. It's in our veins and in a business. But I must ask you, Susie, last time you were here talking to us, you were a bit worried about Christmas because of the lockdown and what was going to happen to see your family, because you couldn't see anybody. What happened? Did you manage to see people?
Yeah, well, my husband did manage to get a flight out. 2 flights were canceled. Then he found a very expensive one on British Airways. So that was like on the 22nd of December. So 2 flights were already canceled. I was having the family here. Of course, that couldn't happen because when he got here, he had to be in quarantine. So I had to run over to the kid's house in the early evening before he got here, and then wait for him to arrive. And they actually sent, because they weren't allowing any planes with English people on them over there, so they sent an empty British Airways plane to Hamburg to pick up he said about 25 people flying back here. But at least he got here for Christmas. But I tell you what, he had 5 COVID tests. He was just here for 6 days. And between going from Germany, from Hamburg to here and back again, 5 tests.
Wow.
Oh,
They're making it very difficult to travel. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like a lot, So even if you follow the rules, and then they're making you pay. Oh, if you want it quicker, you have to pay. So they're finding a way to make money out of this.
yeah.
It drives you nuts. It's enough to drive you crazy. But I won't let it
No.
keep up.
No, I have to change the mood, because I have to say I have not stopped dancing since I heard your song. I don't think I've lost any weight yet, but I'm hoping to, because I'm going to do it 24/7. But what I need to know is, I know astrology is a passion of yours, and I want to know, as we're fellow Geminis, some of us are on Wonderbirds anyway, what are your predictions, please?
see if you guys agree with me. We are going through, I'm going to put this the right way.
Okay. I'm braced.
We're being emotionally and mentally challenged at the moment. We're finding a lot of things are pushing us one way, pushing us another way, pushing us this way. We're finding, even though we always find it hard to coast down the middle, right now we're being pushed. Our emotions are on our sleeve. They are. And we keep trying to do the right thing, but a lot of times we're just plain angry. You know?
Darling, I think that
it's
might be every day. That's not news. That's every day.
every day. It's absolutely correct. I said to my husband when I first met him, I'm Gemini, I'm 2 people. And about 2 weeks later, he said, 2 people?
Well, exactly.
Susie, I don't care about them. I'm a Virgo. Come on, give me some help.
You know what Virgo's problem is? And it's a lovely thing, but it's a problem. With
Yeah.
Virgos, you can appear to be aloof, which you're not, but you can appear to be. And you can be extremely critical. You can. But the truth of the matter is, underneath all that critical part of you, you're self-critical more than anything else. That's it. You're hardest on yourself than anybody else, but nobody sees that because you hide that under being aloof and critical of everybody else. But really, it's you you're critical of.
Yeah, that is true.
Susie, Virgos are ruled by the same planet as us, as Mercury, so they're quite similar in lots of ways.
What we share is, with Virgo, we share our mental activity. We both have the sign of Mercury, which is the sign of communication. So you will find that you can talk easily with a Virgo. We can chat together. We will have frissions, but we can talk. We can argue the toss.
You are very compatible with Gemini, Aries, which is what my sign is, aren't you? So, because I always get on with Geminis.
Yeah, well, you would do. You would do. And actually, they say, oh no, it's Gemini. They say in the book, which I have not found to be correct, that the best sign for a Gemini is a Leo because they have a mutual admiration society.
Yeah, I love Leo. My first husband was Leo, and I was born on his ascendant. No, he was born on my ascendant. So the exact moment with his chart was on my ascendant. So that meant it was a perfect match, I suppose.
So was it a perfect match?
Well, yeah, kind of, still friendly, I suppose, today. But we had lots of weird things that happened in our marriage that were not emotionally part of why we split up. It was lots of different outside factors. But I still think of all the men that I've ever met, he's probably the most compatible.
The truth is, all signs can get along with all signs. There's not strict rules. But when you read up on it, like I have done, for instance, I'm married to a Piscean born on my dad's birthday. How Freudian is that?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm always telling him I married my enemy, and he's correct. When you read in the book about Pisces and Gemini together, they do say this is fine until the power struggle starts. And we have a problem with that, Reiner and I. I like my power, and he likes his, and neither one of us backs down. But luckily, we find some way to laugh at it at the end of it.
What is next for you? What exciting things are you going to tell us?
Well, I'm working on, I've already released my poetry book and my lyric book, Coffee Table Illustrated. I'm now working on my third one called Through My Thoughts. It'll be the third of the series of coffee table books, and I'm taking all my stuff that I've been posting on Instagram since the lockdown started. I'm calling it my thoughts. Through my thoughts.
Right.
Brilliant.
That's a really good idea.
That is.
Working on my next novel, which is it was supposed to be something different. For like 35 years, I've collected from a lot of famous people and non-famous people what they want on their tombstone. And I thought that would make a great book, but it's in there, pages of that, but it's now turned into a novel. And oh my God, psychological novel. Oh, I'm writing it going, where is this?
Susie, do you know what I want on my tombstone? I've always said that. I've always said this. On my tombstone will just be a phone number. And when somebody dials it, it'll say, hello, Debbie. Hello, this is Debbie. Thank you for calling this number. You've just given 50p to my children's inheritance. Goodbye.
I'll tell you what mine is, because it's in the, I get 2. Because I'm a Gemini.
Okay.
So I have a double headstone. One side says, now I get it. And the other side says, too many dreams, too little time.
Oh,
Yeah, that's it. And talking about that, what about music coming? What's coming for you?
Yeah, I'm writing for the next album as we speak because it's. I just you caught me here. I was doing it. I can't see. This is a real creative time for me. I'm grabbing it while it's here. You know, I can't seem to stop writing. I've got
fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. We're in the studio tomorrow, and the next day we've got about 6 songs on the go already.
Oh wow!
Wow,
So
amazing.
have you got a new song about to come out then with a new video or?
Have I? We got a new video. I think it's released today on YouTube. It's
Right.
off the album called "I Sold My Soul Today," and it's a really unusual video because of the nature of the song. I'll tell it to you, and then you can watch it. It's about a lady. I used myself, obviously, who has a strict moral code in the way that she likes to run her life. Okay, and she's with a guy who doesn't have the same moral code, so doesn't respect her moral code. So she's saying, I sold my soul today, not because she changes who she is, but because she stays in the relationship.
Very good.
Ooh.
That's excellent.
Very
Oh,
good.
wait.
A lesson for everyone.
Yeah.
It's a bit too close to people's lives, that. It's a bit too close to mine, Susie.
When I do lyrics, I go so deep inside, so deep, you know, and I pull them out, and there they are, and you're like naked. There they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, busy. The gigs in the book are supposed to be starting in May, but my husband thinks that they won't be. Maybe some summertime, but nobody knows. You know, everybody's got their gigs postponed and then postponed. So
Yeah. Will you keep us posted, darling? Keep us posted.
You're gonna
Can't wait to come.
No, when I was gonna do the video for "I Sold My Soul," which is out today, I kept asking the director because it's more of an acting video, you know, and I love acting anyway.
Yeah.
I kept saying to him, "Are you going to do any shots of me playing bass? Because there wasn't any band in this one." And he kept saying no. Then at 11 o'clock at night, I'm in my little pink pajamas and my white bathrobe, and I heard the ping, and I came in, and it said, "We will take some shots of you playing bass." So I went into the front room with my white bathrobe and my pink pajamas on. And I practiced the song. If anybody had come up that driveway and saw me doing this, they would have said, "She's lost." And, you know, you had to really go for it. I didn't want to go up and change just to practice the song, but it was funny. It's a sight to
I love it.
doing like this.
Amazing. Oh my God. Susie, I can't wait to see you live. We're all going to be there. Your first live concert.
The Wonderbirds fan club will be there going, "Whoa, we love Susie, we love Susie."
Most definitely.
A dedicated song to you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
See you very soon.
Yeah,
See you
please
very
come back soon. We
Bye,
love
darling.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Wow.
Oh, that set me up. Was it you? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
She's
amazing.
fabulous.
Do you think she'd allow us to back her, darling?
No.
Susie and the Wonderbirds.
Yeah, Susie and the Wonderbirds.
No,
Yeah.
dear, we'd be put in jail.
No, let's not go there, girls.
Sounds good.
Let's not
Sounds
get
good.
carried away.
Sherry, we've got someone else in the nest, haven't we, flying in?
Okay, we have a lovely guest called Debbie Matthews, who happens to be Bruce Forsyth's daughter. And this is a pre-record because she was so busy, we couldn't get her live. And she's a lovely girl, but the main thing is she's going to talk about dog theft, which is a very, very serious thing since the pandemic. And on Sunday, she will tell you that she has a Zoom call, which I'd like you all to join, and it would really, really help her. So please welcome Debbie Matthews.
Hi, darling.
Hi.
Welcome to our nest.
Welcome.
Yes.
To you all.
It's lovely to see you. Debbie, please tell everybody how what happened with your dogs and why you started this charity and where it's going.
Started in 2006 when my 2 dogs were stolen from my car. I parked at a Marks and Spencer's to pop in and get some cakes to go for tea with my dad. And when I came out to the car, the driver's window was smashed. And there were 2 men standing by my car. Right. I don't know if you've ever been in shock, but when you run, you go into slow motion. You can't get to where you're going.
Yes.
Yes.
I shouted at them, "Oh my dogs, are my dogs okay? Are my dogs okay? They looked in the car and just said, what dogs? And that they said the police wanted to talk to me. You can imagine the state I was in at this point.
Oh,
And the police virtually said if there was nothing valuable in my car, like a handbag or a laptop, they weren't going to come out, as it was only dogs.
what?
Oh
So
my
that was
goodness.
that was my first realization of what I was dealing with here. My dad came and picked me up and sort of marched me out of Marks and Spencer's in tears, and I was saying, oh God, everybody's going to think I've been shoplifting, you know, what is everybody got home, and I then started the process of trying to find out what I had to do, what could I do to get my boys back. I found a website called Dog Loss, which were going back then, and thank God this lady had been through the same experience 2 years before, and she started this website up because there was no help out there. So she was able, you put all your information up, you get an instant poster, you've got to get back out there and start postering everything in sight, which is basically what I did. In the meantime, I told her who my father was, because he was due to do a television program probably the next morning. And she advised us to keep quiet, poster, because the boys were 7 years old and neutered, they'd probably be sold on quickly for cash. And that would be the better route for us to go, to wait for them to be sold on. So I just went out, and I think we got through about 7,000 posters in that first week. We just posted everything, and we were moving our way out of the area, trying to cover everywhere. Local radio picked it up. Eventually, one of the newspapers got hold of the story, and we said, just give us till Wednesday. We need a week. We just need this week, and then we'll go public. We'll go with you. Went with the newspaper, and BBC News picked it up, and we did a live appeal for the boys on GMTV in my father's garden. And that morning, the man who'd bought Widget from a Southall market, a livestock market, was watching, and he said, I've got one of your dogs. Thank goodness they both had their hair cut, so they looked different to a Yorkshire Terrier.
Yeah.
Because a Yorkshire Terrier looks like a Terrier to people. But he had this bob. He had like a bob because he had the flat ears. That morning I got Widget back, which was amazing. So the following morning we did a follow-up and said, right, we got Widget. We know it was Southall. Anybody else local in the area, get another Yorkie, smaller, noisier. And the lady who'd bought Gizmo was watching that morning. She'd been walking through a park in Hayes, and she'd seen this man throwing this dog up in the air, and she was worried for the dog, went over and said, you know, what's this? And he thought it was a puppy. He thought Gizmo was a puppy, and said it wasn't really working out for his son, and he was thinking of selling him, and she bought him, thank goodness, and I got Gizmo back. So I was absolutely over the moon, as you can imagine. But the two things that this threw up for me was the police, that there wasn't such a crime as dog theft, it's theft. So my dogs were listed under car theft. And the other thing was that if my two dogs had been sold on, if they go to the vets with a new, if they go to the vet with their new dog, the vets are not legally obliged to scan and check microchip registration, which means they could go to the vet with my dog. If the vet doesn't scan, I don't get my dog back. That was 15 years ago. I've been campaigning on this, and I'm still having to campaign on this. That's what's so awful. I'm still having to try and get the veterinary profession to step up to this, but they won't.
Why?
Okay. Yeah. Can I just ask you, Debbie, when a dog is microchipped and is stolen, can they take the microchip out?
It's very, very difficult, and it can cause the death of the dog because it's so hard to do. So it's not the preferred route to do, although we have had in the last couple of months a few breeding farms, I guess, broken into by the police, busted by the police, and there have been 100 dogs from one place taken, and a few of those dogs did have their chips removed, but they leave gaping, scars on their back.
That's
an
what
obvious
scares me.
Lockdown, Debbie, has made it far, far worse, hasn't it?
Yeah, we thought it would quieten down and it would sort of calm down for everybody because it was already at a bad state. But lockdown happened and more dogs, it seemed to be the only crime that was being committed. It was just ridiculous. And then, of course, everybody wanted puppies. That put the prices up of dogs. So the breeders want to replenish their breeding stocks. So they're going to steal anything in sight, trying to get more dogs.
Yes.
Ones that don't fit into the breeding schedule will be sold on. So these are the dogs that we're trying to help. Also, we're trying to get the law changed so that there's more deterrence in place. So if your dog is stolen, it's classified as a mobile phone or a laptop. It's an other. It comes in the other bracket.
Wow.
So it's not defined. So if someone is caught and goes to court, it's another. So the judge doesn't know that it's a dog. We've got cases where dogs have been stolen. 2 dogs, 2 pugs in particular, in 2018 was stolen. The thief went to court. He paid a fine of £250. Court costs £400, and that was it. And the 2 dogs are still missing. What justice is that? How are we going to stop this crime?
Debbie, is it classed as a criminal? Is it classed as a criminal offence to steal a dog?
Theft is a criminal offence,
but not stealing a dog.
Right.
And also, you know what I think? The people that buy dogs, you know, it should be their responsibility to find out where those dogs come from, because they should be in fear of being prosecuted if they've taken a stolen dog. So that should be brought in as well, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
It should, but a lot of the dogs are sold on with fake paperwork. So you wouldn't think to check it, you know, and the more noise we're making about it, more people are aware, more dogs turn up, more dogs are dumped and returned.
Yeah.
So, but you still have the dog thieves that are waiting for the reward, want the reward money, or they demand ransom as well.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Terrible.
Debbie, can I ask you very quickly, darling, where did your love of dogs come from? What was your first dog?
Well, my mother and father, we've always had dogs in the family. The first dog that I had was called Rusty, and he actually appeared on Sunday night at the London Palladium.
So he's a theatrical, like everyone. He was.
Yeah.
So Rusty was the performer.
Yeah, he was. There were a couple of times when there was an equity strike and they couldn't get other performers on, so they had to fill the show. So Rusty went on and he did a trick.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That's so good.
About the Zoom call on Sunday.
Yeah, we've got it. Just raising it's Dog Theft Awareness Day on Sunday, 14th of March. Everybody can watch it. I think you can watch it live on Zoom or Twitter. And we've got the actual victims who've got the missing dogs, how they cope, how their life is affected. This isn't the same as a mobile phone going missing and you replace it in 24 hours. You know, our dogs are irreplaceable, priceless members of our family. And that's always forgotten in this crime. So we've given them the voice. We've also got a couple of experts and a couple of politicians. We've actually got Ian Duncan Smith, who's actually spearheading the drive to try and get this changed now. We've just had a knockback from the Sentencing Council again, which they've said no, they're not going to change the guidelines, which is the simplest way to do it.
Wow,
So we're going
I can't understand it.
Yeah.
No. But the awful thing is that they protect bicycles.
Oh,
Bicycle theft is a thing.
Don't do it. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Bicycles. Bicycles are mentioned in the Theft Act, but not our dogs.
That's unbelievable, because you know it's ridiculous. But Debbie, how do we join the Zoom call? What do we do?
You can join us on Dog Zoom on Facebook and Twitter, and also it really helps if everybody can contact their own MPs. It really helps if you can write to your MP. We're just putting together another letter for MPs to cover the Zoom and where we are with the Sentencing Council's new rulings. But engage with your MP. That's so important.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You will.
Debbie, what dogs have you got now, darling?
I've got a miniature schnauzer now.
Oh.
And what's their name?
This is her. She's our poster girl.
Oh, fabulous.
Oh.
Lovely.
That's it. She's called Pepper.
Pepper.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Heaven. Pepper the poster girl. Well, we'll all tune in on Sunday.
Yes, and we'll put all the information on the show as well, so people can join the Zoom call.
Yes.
And Debbie, the work that you're doing is fantastic. And if we can help in any way, if ever you have anything else
Yeah.
that you want the Wonderbirds to help you publicise,
Mhm.
we are dog mad here. And
We certainly are.
our dogs, I've got 4 dogs. I mean, you know, dogs are our family. So we know we'll do
Dogs
anything.
are us.
And thank you, Debbie, for starting all this from all of us dog
Thank you.
lovers.
Yes,
for
thank you
helping
so
us.
much.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Bye,
Bye.
Pepper.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Good
Pepper
luck.
the poster
Bye.
girl.
So if you want to join the Zoom call, which I think you should, it's a doggy Zoom, it'll be very funny, if nothing else, please do so. And all the information is on the show below.
Tomorrow, I won't be with you tomorrow, unfortunately, because I will be still in my Winnebago. But I'll miss you and send Richard my love.
We will.
We will, darling.
Or
We
not.
will.
We
We
will
miss you
And,
too.
for those of you,
Thank you.
yes, we'll be with Richard tomorrow. But for those of you who aren't joining us tomorrow, we'll be Happy Mother's Day as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
darling.
Happy Mother's Day.
Bye.
Always.
Bye, darling.
Bye.